like... Oh, wait. What's happening?
No, it's just a youngster.
It's a baby.
Yeah, he can't really fly.
Oh, there you go.
Last week in round sailing, we continued cruising the Pearl Islands in Panama. We anchored in a channel between two islands with strong currents, and then found a tiny island full of wildlife.
Barry and his friends helped us to untie the line ashore, and I started to retrieve the 150-meter long line.
Good luck, guys! A lot of line, huh?
That was a good workout.
I hope we'll see him in San Diego in November. I hope he managed to get that far north. It would be a tough sail, but that would be cool if we could meet up again up there. So we're approaching the anchorage at the island of San José. It's a private island.
We were the only boat in the huge bay, but we weren't alone. When Johan was polishing the turnbuckles, he got company by a very curious pelican. Now we have cows as company on the beach. So cool! They take advantage now when it's low tide and they can walk on the beach.
I'm making lunch and watching the cows on the beach. Can you hear them? They're kind of loud. Tomorrow we're going to sail to Costa Rica, or no, north in Panama. We're going to need to check out first. So we have a sail, it's 270 nautical miles up there to the last port where we can check out in Panama. So today we've been making some preparations. I've been checking the rig, been doing some laundry.
We rowed ashore to stretch our legs before the 2-day sail to the Panamanian border. Let's see how it goes when we're going out to the boat again. It's us and the cows.
Our new friend is on the deck.
Don't poo all over the deck, please. Have you already? No. Oh, you're big. We just weighed anchor and now we're on our way to the border to Panama and Costa Rica. So we're leaving the Pearl Islands behind, had a great time here. It was so beautiful. The time is 5:15, so we are calculating to be close to the first cape tomorrow morning, which is called the Bad Cape, Punta Mala. The thing about that cape is that it can be a really strong riptide, but we should be alright since we have the wind and we will have the current with us, so it should be okay. But it's good to pass it in daylight.
That was really close.
That was a pretty close call. You can see here on the plotter. They changed course like really last minute. We called him up 3 times. First he said he couldn't because he had the other ship on his starboard side, but yeah.
It's not always easy with a sailing boat. These big ships, they just look at your AIS, the transponder you have. And of course the calculation, okay, we're going to pass with a couple of 100 meters between us and them. But of course on a sailboat the speed goes up and down, and the calculation isn't always very correct when it's tight. So in this case the CPA was down to 50 meters, and yeah, I got quite worried. So it was this close to, yeah, that we had to stop the boat. We're downwind, so that's the problem. And first they were a bit, yeah, we have a boat on our starboard side, but we will change course. But then they waited for so long, so I was a bit, okay, are you going to alter course? Do you see us? And just in last minute they altered course, and we were maybe, I don't know, 100 meters in front of them. Not very nice. Yeah, I prepared a flare actually, because I wasn't sure that he really was aware how close we were, even if they saw us on the AIS. Yeah, it's never nice to be so close to these big ships. And this is the traffic separation zone going into the Panama Canal. So of course there's a lot of shipping here. But it seems like we have more or less crossed it now. There's not much shipping left, not that's going to disturb us anything more tonight. There's a couple of boats outside of it, but that's easier. Whew. Yeah, actually there are a couple of boats, you see them here.
It wasn't the first cape that was the windiest, but the second one, Morro de Puercos, where the wind increased from 10 knots to 30 knots in an instant.
I don't know if it's possible to see, but over there where the white caps are, a couple of minutes ago we had 25 to 30 knots of wind. Now we maybe have 10. Doing 2 knots at the moment because of the reefed sails. So this area is really, yeah, pretty demanding to sail in. The wind goes up and down. During the night we've been having, yeah, around 25 knots, and then at the morning it just died. We had like 10 knots for a couple of hours, and yeah, so it's gusty. And of course it's because of these mountains, I guess. And this place is infamous for being a tough place to sail. Punta Mala, the Bad Cape. And also there's quite strong currents the chart warns for tide rips and overfalls or breaking waves in this area. But we're pretty close to land. We decided to go around 3 nautical miles from land. And I guess that's also a reason why the wind is a bit gusty, because it falls over the mountains here. But I guess the waves are smaller, so that's nice. So we have about 30 nautical miles left before we can turn, go a bit more to the north, and hopefully these gusty winds will be better by then, so it's more even, the wind speed. So you know that the wind is coming back, so you don't want to take out the reefs just for maybe sailing with full sails for 20 minutes and then you have to reef everything down again. So, but even so, I think our average speed for the last 12 hours has been pretty good, around 6.5 knots or something like that.
So now we're sailing to a place called Puerto Armuelles. It's a village just on the border to Costa Rica. So we will go there to check out from Panama, because we haven't done that yet, and then we will sail into Costa Rica. So we plan to be in Puerto Armuelles tomorrow afternoon, evening maybe. Then check out the next day, probably do a little bit of grocery shopping, finish our... so you look, now the wind came back, 17 knots.
Yeah.
It's so strange. It's so strange.
What are your thoughts about the last of the
Very
night?
windy.
And
Very windy. But yeah, I'm glad that the waves have been fairly small for the wind speed. But it's been very windy, 30 or 23, 25 apparent wind, beam reach. Yesterday when we started we had more of a broad reach coming in from like 110 degrees, but then we've had it like, or even more, 120, 130. But now the last 12 hours or something's been on beam reach 90 degrees. They have this local phenomena here in Panama. They call it papagayo winds, which I think is now during when the trade winds are the strongest, and it's very gusty winds, and the wind speed can also increase really fast.
it's called gap winds in English, I think.
Gap winds.
Yeah, it's gaps in the wind strength. So.
We haven't seen any other sailboat. We're alone out here. We heard dolphins during the night. I saw one this morning, jumped right in front of the bow. Other from that, no, nothing happening, just a lot of wind. In the afternoon the wind dropped and we had to motor for a couple of hours before the gusty winds returned.
So our second night on our way north in Panama. Yeah, the forecast so far hasn't been very correct. It's mostly local phenomenon with the winds here. According to the forecast right now we should have no wind at all. But we have between 14 and 22 knots, really gusty winds. It's coming down from the mountains, I guess because of the land mass is cooling off now at night and the sea is still warm, and because the mountains are pretty high around here, so I guess that's why the wind is really gusty. And on top of that we have a lot of current against us at the moment, around 3 knots actually. We're doing 2.2 knots over ground and around 5 through the water. We're sailing inside of the island
Coiba. We have around, I think we have around 90 miles to go. It's a bit frustrating doing 2.1 knots over ground, even if you know that you're doing decent speed through the water. And the problem is also because the winds are so gusty here. We're reefed down for wind speed of 20 knots, because the wind speed is between 14 and 25, going up and down every now and then. So we'll see tomorrow. Unfortunately, I think this wind will disappear in the morning, because when the sun heats up the land again in the morning, I think the sea breeze will it will even out this wind coming from the mountains. So I think tomorrow probably we're going to motor.
Johan was right yesterday. There's been no wind at all today, so we've been motoring. We're still doing it, and I think we have to do it all the way until we arrive. So we're going pretty close to the coastline right now, and some quite high mountains here. I didn't think that, but we're taking advantage of the calm water and having a little sundowner snack. Wow! Wow! Alltså vad coolt!
Nice, huh?
So cool! I've never seen that. Really jumping straight up from the water, like how far was it? Like 1.5 meters up.
More.
2 meters. So cool. And we're really tiny dolphins. Oh, nice with something happening at least today.
With still no wind and a lot of current against us, we didn't arrive until after midnight.
It's 6:30 in the morning. I couldn't sleep after we arrived. I'm just watching this beautiful, beautiful sunrise. We arrived at 2 a.m. to a completely calm anchorage. We had dolphins as companies again, and they were following us alongside the boat. We could see them swimming in the water because of the bioluminescence behind them. It was so beautiful. So if you come to Puerto Armuelles with a boat, these are the guys you're gonna meet. Say hi to the camera. Dile hola.
Hola. Bienvenido a Puerto Armuelles.
Gracias.
After the authorities were done on the boat, we went ashore to visit their offices. It's a lot of paperwork doing the clearance here in Panama, and it's not for free. To check out from Panama, we paid $115.
We're at Omar's office where he works. He works for the Maritime Authority. He's been walking with us to the different authorities. We've been visiting 4 so far. Quarantine, merchant marine, immigration, and which one?
Cuarentena.
Eso ya le dije.
Cuarentena. Autoridad
La otra señora.
Aduana.
Ah, okay. Yeah, customs. And now we're here at the last place. So we will get the exit paper. And today's Friday. On Sunday we're gonna leave, and then we'll go in here and go to one man, and he will stamp our passport so we can leave.
I think we're almost ready. We just, we're going to get some groceries after this. And this guy is going to give us a ride.
Great. Muchas gracias a todos.
Saludos.
Saludos, buen viaje, que Dios los bendiga y los cuide.
Muchas gracias. We always get so happy when we meet nice officials, and Omar was one of a kind, and he took us on a guided tour and showed us his town. Puerto Armuelles was once a vibrant, thriving town, as it served as Chiquita banana plantation land. The workers harvested the bananas and loaded the ships waiting at the big pier in the harbor. For 82 years, the town was all about bananas, and the town grew to be a rich, successful beach town. But after a major workers' strike, Chiquita left in 2009, and the population shrunk considerably. When you walk around town today, you can still see the old plantation houses, and many expats remained and still lives here.
Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoyed the episode. Please subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up. And stay tuned for the next week's episode.